Alright guys, here we are to talk about Season 2, Episode 6 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Halloween. Is
that all it's called? This is Halloween?
Halloween.
It's fitting, I guess. It works.
It is. It's fitting in more than one way because it is also October and, we are ready for Halloween ourselves and so is Buffy.
Exactly. Did you plan this?
I did, actually,
okay.
yes. I said, you know what, we're going to start Season 1 exactly 18
perfectly.
episodes ago.
Yeah, it's amazing.
18 weeks back. Okay, so this episode starts off with, Buffy's in a pumpkin patch, or Pop's Pumpkins, or whatever the fuck it's called. And she's fighting a guy, nameless, faceless vampire number 3.
Generic,
but she's being
vampire.
videotaped. And you're like, what's that? And it's like a tiny source for attempted humor, I'll say, where his camera's dying and you're trying to think this guy that you'll never see. You're like, why is this happening?
No, that was so weird and unnecessary.
But she stakes him, and then it moves on to our opening title sequence type of stuff.
But the cold open is like, oh no, Buffy's gonna be on reality television. It's horrible.
And it's clearly a vampire too. So they don't even. It's not even a misdirection thing where you're like, oh, what could this be? If someone now knows the existence of vampires? That could have been a fun moment in time.
No, I actually hated that because it's obviously, and it is Spike, right? Who's like, I'm gonna go up against her in the big game. I have to review some of her film and watch her moves. And get across, yes. Which
is kind of what he did in the past, but just with his eyes, and now he wants to, send some other lackey there.
Yeah.
I love Spike's viewing of it, though. He has, like in his cool, warehouse thing, there's, just TVs on a pillar on all different angles, and you're just like, yes, I'm viewing it from all different angles. I love it.
It's very 90s. It's very, giant demonic or hackers or something.
I want it so bad.
And because he keeps switching TVs and going, rewind it, yes, no, enhance, and fucking doing things. You're like, what's happening? You're just watching it. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's wonderful. But back to the episode at hand. It is Halloween, so our Scoobies and the rest of Sunnydale all need to have a Halloween costume. So we have.
Well, yes. I mean, the principal is forcing them. They're too cool for Halloween because they're like the outsiders, right? But the principal is like, you need to. Buffy, you're so horrible. I'm going to force you to watch children. On Halloween.
What's the deal?
A bunch of little kids need people to take them trick-or-treating. Sign up and get your own pack of sugar-hyped little runts for the night.
Yikes.
He has an interesting approach to volunteering.
Note his interesting take on the volunteer concept.
And I think that's funny. I love how he nabs Buffy first, and behind both shoulders is Xander and Willow, and you have this moment where they're both like, haha, and then he dual wields pens and gets them too.
Sucks to be you, and then it goes as if there's two other hands that appear, and he still has it's great.
That's wonderful. So they're going to be taking these kids out. At the same time, we have a little subplot where Buffy is worried that Angel is more interested in women of a classical nature from the 1700s, and
I kind of hate
him.
You hate this?
I'm not a big fan of it, but I love where it goes.
Yeah,
so I love her stuck in the personality of the damsel in distress from back in the day.
Yes,
and I think she pulls it off.
I like why it's in there and how it plays into stuff, but it's ridiculous to me that she suddenly is like, Angel's too good for me. Oh, he's gonna go for Cordelia, who he's literally been she's touching me, fuck, the entire time.
But in this episode, threw a wrench in that normal plan of Cordelia's just an annoyance. But in this one, they're sitting at a table and she's telling the worst joke possible, and he's laughing and enjoying himself.
So I told Devin, you call that leather interior? My Barbie dream car had nicer seats.
And I'm like, is this something he would do? This is dark and brooding boy.
But Buffy walks in and just sees them sitting together and assumes, oh, it must be because of all this stuff or whatever.
Buffy?
And then he's like, babe, no, come back. And she's like, my hair's messed up, I'm sweaty. And it's like, that's awesome. And she's like, oh, and leaves. And what's going on here? Yeah, whatever.
Well, you also get Cordelia saying you may be the slayer, but I'm the slayer of the dating world.
When it comes to dating, I'm the slayer. That's my favorite line maybe of the entire episode.
Look, Buffy, you may be hot stuff when it comes to demonology or whatever, but when it comes to dating, I'm the slayer.
And so cool for her to say, just to be like, oh, because she's aware of the entire paranormal aspect of life now, but does not give a fuck. And I love that.
Yeah.
Where she's still like, oh, the prom and the dating, and why doesn't he notice me and all this dumb shit. It's like, you're aware that the undead walk the earth, and she's just like, oh, my costume's ruined. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, she's also like blissfully ignorant that Angel's even a vampire, even when told that he's a vampire.
Angel's a vampire. I thought you knew.
Oh, he's a vampire. Of course, but the cuddly kind. Like a Care Bear with fangs.
And I was trying to think back, I'm like, I guess she has not actually seen it yet. And I can't recall if there's a big moment of when she actually does realize it's him.
Okay.
I don't think there is. I think it just becomes part of like, oh no, that's life, whatever.
I didn't even catch the misdirection, because later, she goes, ugh, sorry, everyone's weird now. All right, he's a nice vampire.
Forget it. It's okay. Angel is a good vampire. He would never hurt you.
Like, I thought that she knew he was a nice vampire, but I guess she doesn't.
No.
She's just saying that. Ugh, it's easier just to say, he's nice, he won't hurt you.
Well, I loved, like, earlier when Buffy literally says it to her, she's like, well, his parents are probably been dead for hundreds of years. Oh, that's good. What?
Cordelia, I think his parents have been dead for a couple of 100 years.
Oh, good. I mean, what?
Just her reaction.
No, they told her. So why
but she
doesn't
didn't. She didn't believe it. She thought that was Buffy trying to get her to get the hell away from him.
Throw him off the scent. Yeah. That's dumb.
It's not dumb.
It isn't like she's making a thing up.
But also,
Vampires
like,
are
the
real.
Cordy character jumps between being very dumb and being very smart, witty type of things. And this was a dumb day.
Okay.
It worked out. She's a cat.
That's my runner-up, possibly equally favorite.
From Oz?
When Oz is like, geez, like a big cat. And she's like, that's my costume. Anyway, and they go, I'm like, oh, what just happened? What just happened? That's amazing. This is amazing.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
Oz.
Hey, Cordelia. Geez, you're like a great big cat.
I'd say my favorite line is like a tie between Xander saying, I just want you to know I'm taking a lot on faith here.
Yeah.
I want you to know that I'm taking a lot on faith here.
And Buffy not knowing, because she's from the 17th century, what amnesia is. She's like, I most certainly do not have that. I'll have you know I bathe quite often.
You must have some kind of amnesia.
I don't know what that is, but I'm certain I don't have it. I bathe quite often.
I bathe frequently? Yes.
I liked her like Southern Belle, like distressed type of thing. I thought that was funny.
This could be a situation.
Buffy, what do we do?
I like a lot of the little touches of the characters as they swap. Like Xander becomes I'm an army guy, and he has army tattoos now, out of the blue. I think that's really cool.
You would take orders from a woman? Are you feeble in some way?
I think this for me took things to another level. Because for the first time, I think ever, I've seen him not be Xander.
Okay.
And it happened to be in Buffy, which is ironic, because I've seen him in other movies, and he's always Xander. So I was like, this is great. He's great. He's doing a thing.
Oh yeah.
He's acting.
His face, when it first washes over him, he's like. And the gun comes up, it's like, that's a real gun now.
Yes.
Which is even better the other direction when it turns back and he's like, but that one you can shoot. What the?
Now that guy you can shoot.
What the?
What the? Yeah.
Just everybody's changing. It's great.
And him being able to fight and using it and changing. In real shows, when characters lose their memory, it's always fascinating to be like, oh, on Star Trek, they all lost their memory, and Picard's not the captain, because he's like, oh no, Worf's obviously the captain, because he's so tough and aggressive, and you're like, oh, weird, because if you wipe the slate clean, people's personalities change and stuff. And this is like that, where Xander's like, ladies, get back. Oh, we have to triage. We gotta do that. And he's doing stuff. Oh, this is good.
You got to see the age-old question: who wins, army guy or pirate? And he does.
Okay.
Beat that guy. I like his little call up. I don't know why, but I got a great sense of accomplishment or self-satisfaction beating up that pirate.
It's strange, but beating up that pirate gave me a weird sense of closure.
I felt some closure for some reason. Anyway.
There were a couple of times when Xander shone through in this character. And I like it because I like the little lines, but I'm like, it's not really what you're doing here. Like it shouldn't happen. Like you don't ever see Buffy accidentally kick someone's ass. Like
yeah, I was actually waiting for her.
You don't see her do super strong. Open the pickle jar. Oh my god! Like
no, I was actually waiting for her to be like frantically doing like I don't know, and then like break something or like do something because she is strong.
It would
still.
be great.
I was like, I don't know if that's the thing because I was wondering like, wait, but is Spike gonna bite off more than he can chew because she still has all of her power, or did her power like go? Is it mental? Does she need to know she has it to use it? What's going on here?
I would say her power was literally gone.
Right?
I think is how it works. Because when you think about other people becoming like, oh, that's a demon now, and so on and so forth. Like
where the mask like goes and like touches your face.
But the rules are definitely broken because a vampire just shows up in her house. And Angel has to fight it, and that's when he vamps out and scares Buffy in the first place.
Hurry up!
How did the vampire get in? Because no one invited the vampire in, so everyone must be a little bit of a twist on what they actually are. Like, because that's a vampire in like magic alone, not a true vampire, so probably not stuck to the normal rules.
Oh, like that was just a person who dressed as a vampire for Halloween.
That turned into a vampire,
who Angel is going to murder.
Yeah. Well, think about how many people probably died in this episode.
I know.
And they retain their memory, which is something they say. So like the little kid who killed Grandma and like all those other people are like, okay, what?
That was
Maybe I...
my thought too. Was at the end they're like, I want my mommy, and like hell no, and I'm like, all those kids were part of Spike's like assassin squad.
I love that he had a little group of people who are like, okay, and like almost that same.
And it's like, hello, my lovelies, we'll go find it, and they're like.
Do you hear that, my friends? Somewhere out here is the tenderest meat you've ever tasted.
Yeah, a group of just like little people that are in full demon garb. I was like, that's fantastic. I love Xander giving his little like call out to the troops, like, okay, this is how you get extra candy and such and such.
Before anything, there's any shenanigans or whatever. We haven't actually said, like, yes.
Tears are key. Tears will normally get you the double bagger. You can also try the old "you miss me" routine, but it's risky. Only go there for chocolate.
Ethan's costume shop has mysteriously opened in town, and at the stroke of whatever 7 p.m. for some reason, he's like praying to his weird.
No, it has to be earlier than that actually, because they said the kids have to be back by 6.
The program starts at 4. The children have to be back at 6.
In my head, I made it 4 to 8 because that's reasonable. But yes, it's like 4 to 6. Where like
6.
You can barely get to the place you're going and come back. That's crazy. But yes, at some random time, he's like, "This is perfect," and does the incantation, and everyone becomes whatever they're dressed up as. If they got their stuff from him, or even one element of their costume, even the gun counts, right? Just anything from his shop.
I think that's what's so funny to me about Xander's is because Xander got just the gun there, and the gun is interchangeable for any type of costume. So like he could have been Machine Gun Kelly. He could have been just like random thug with gun. But no, it knew what he was going to be, and that gun like wasn't even that gun. It was a
Oh yeah, well things go to like 11.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Because the stupid demon mask becomes like, oh, they're just an actual demon now.
Yeah.
Right? Even their fans. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Yes.
The cat women I thought were funny, like the ones that actually turned into cat people.
No guns! That's still a little kid in there.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There were people that were dressed up like a cat, like Cordy was, but they got their costume from him, so they turned into like cat demon women.
Oh, is that what that like yellow-faced chick was supposed to be? Oh my god, yeah, because her ears or something? Okay, I'm just like, yeah, there's Sasquatch, and there's people who look like squashes and gourds. Yeah, no, cat ladies.
One of the people that was in Xander's group is like a Mr. Potato Head or something, and I was like, I desperately want to know what you turned into.
No need to speak to them. The last thing they need is your influence.
But you never see that person.
You never see him. Yeah, like at some point, people like run down the street and there's like putties-looking people from Power Rangers. I'm like, what's happening? This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just indiscriminate.
It's great.
I love Willow's whole journey here.
My God!
She picks up the ghost costume.
Time-honored classic.
Gets convinced to dress slutty.
Wow. You're a dish. I mean, really.
Then, chickens out, wears the ghost costume.
But wait do you see? Hi. Casper.
Hey, Will, that's a fine boo you got there.
Then when she dies, rises up out of the ghost costume. In her normal outfit here, yeah.
No, I love this for two reasons. One, I've thought about this more. I don't really like Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay.
And I mean, for like as a horny young person or whatever. And Cordelia is attractive, but not really like my type. So that left Willow. So
Okay.
it was all about Willow. For me, and I imagine millions of other young men or like boys in the world, right? So this. I do not remember this episode at all. This is amazing. Willow looks amazing. She comes out of her shell and all this other garbage. The conversation with Buffy completely like justifies this weird fan service and changes everything and stuff like that. Giles calls back to it. Buffy explains like, yes and no. This is your night to like not be you and like test your boundaries and your limits and blah 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 blah.
It's come as you are at night. The perfect chance for a girl to get sexy and wild with no repercussions.
Like, oh, that's so much more interesting than just like, no, you need to be a slut to get noticed, which is how it starts, right? But then she adds that on, and then Giles even goes, like, the ghost of what?
Yes,
like,
the ghost of
the fuck
what?
are you talking about, bitch?
And your costume?
I'm a ghost.
Yes. The ghost of what exactly?
And she's like, no, we have to, right, blah, blah, right? So I liked the way they pulled it off a lot. It didn't feel as like gratuitous as I suspect it actually is, right? But I was I'm like, yes, awesome, well done.
Yeah. No, this is great. As like a kid, you'd see attractive people and things, and you'd be like, oh, I like that person. Buffy was one of those shows where I never thought of any of the people in that way.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I don't know. I always really liked the people, and I'm like, no, these are like your friends. Like,
that's why I clarified, like for horny reasons. No. She, Sarah Michelle Gellar is great, but I just not my.
No, I got what you meant
personally.
eventually. Yes.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure I'm not throwing shade. The characters, the actors.
Oh no, they're all
all
obviously beautiful people.
Yes. But as we go back now, I can evaluate it without the horny haze of being whatever, like 13 or whatever it was, right? And I go like, okay, this is how this happened, because I just remember. I'm not going to spoil anything for later in the show. Whatever. Yes. Yeah.
Babe. I can live with it.
So 2 things from the library. I hated their stealing the book thing.
My God.
It was so like Saved by the Bell.
Yes, to read up on Angelus, whatever.
Yeah,
like
in the bathroom of all
history.
places.
Who is she?
It doesn't say, but the entry's dated 1775.
Angel was 18 and still human.
I hated that, but I loved Willow popping through the wall and scaring Giles.
Yes.
I thought that was great.
They that I could feel like on set they were like, just act surprised, and he just and like no one said cut, and they just kept acting that way, and they were like, that's all staying in, that's perfect.
We cut another scene to make that all fit. Yeah.
He goes through all these cycles, like throws whatever he's got. It's like crazy.
Index cards.
Yeah.
Well, I think earlier in the episode he says for fun I like to cross-categorize or something.
Well, I like cross-referencing or something.
Yeah.
And he's got the card catalog, I think, and he's doing stuff. Oh, now he has to reorganize all those cards.
But he likes doing that, so really they just gave him a whole
it's
day.
Win-win. It's perfect. Yes. No, it's good.
Her dying and just popping up and walking through things, I think all that's great.
And her first line is, I'm a real ghost, or something like that.
Yeah.
And when Xander goes through it, she's like, oh.
Yes.
Thing like, oh, shit.
No, wait!
Oh, no. And then even when she's with Giles, she's like, this is going to take forever. I don't even know what I'm looking for, and I can't turn the pages.
I don't even know what I'm looking for. Plus, I can't turn the page.
Yes.
Because he has to walk by, I imagine.
There is a mistake, though, later when they go to Ethan's costume shop, and like he's like, Willow, get out of here. And like you think at first it's like, so you're safe. But really it's like, I'm about to rough this mother up, and I don't want you to see it. And when she leaves, she like disturbs the area.
Yeah, she touches like the curtain or whatever.
Willow, get out of here now.
But...
Now.
No, so like, she goes through like 2 things, and every other scene of her, and I don't hold this against them. It's television, it's fine, but she's like walking around stuff, touching things as she moves by. Like it's very much not walking through everything.
But it's okay.
Yes, it's fine. I'm not gonna hold that against them, but I'm saying yes.
So I like that we meet someone from Giles's past. He calls him by his like childhood nickname.
Yo, I got like Doctor Who vibes from this, where like someone else is there. Oh, if it isn't the Butcher of Gallifrey, and he's like, "Go, Rose, run!" And you're like, "What is happening? What, Giles? What?
Yeah.
How?" It was crazy, and much like the thing earlier where Snyder's like, meth heads again, whatever the fuck, right? I'm like, this is gonna sit there for I don't know how long now. I'm so pissed off. Like, I want to know what this all means, the Ripper and all that.
It's definitely a juicy dangler there for you.
Fuck, yes. So yes.
Hello, Ripper.
So, but like that's all good. You get to see, like, Giles is kind of a badass, and like part of it's too, he's fighting a dude and not like the Slayer.
Yes,
so
yes,
some of that is not just he's a clumsy, inept fool. It's that like he's fighting an elite warrior, and this is just him fighting someone on an even playing field.
But I'm interested now though. Are all those scenes where he's like, "Oh, Buffy, go to class"? Like, is he faking it, or is
I
he?
think it's
does
just
he
that she's
suck?
so strong and awesome
Okay.
that.
But he's not even doing moves with her. Like,
I think it's that he can't because she's so good.
She's
It's
so
the whole
fucking
Worf
good.
thing. By showing how powerful Buffy is, it makes him look like a chump
do the
bitch.
thing. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out more as we go or something like that. But yes, he's like cleaning his glasses, like tell me, and like kicking him and
Yeah.
stuff. And he's like the old man fights or
He
whatever.
does what must be done.
Yeah,
but he
he's
eventually
ruthless.
finds out that the key is that
Yes.
statue that's two-headed and like symbolizing the passing of the whatever.
You tell me how to stop the spell.
Janus, break its statue.
He
The duality of
smashes it,
man.
and
Yes.
everything goes back to normal.
Just in time, right?
Just in
Just at the
time.
exact right moment, because Spike's about to go in for it, and all the
Yeah.
people are incapacitated. Buffy, no, yes, no, smash. I'm home, whatever. And
Would have been nice to see Xander just plug the shit out of Spike though with and just see what is that gonna do?
Right,
Let's
because
see
it would
that.
be fine, right?
Yeah, potentially.
Right,
Unless he
and-
did enough that he took the head off.
Right.
And that gun seemingly because it's magic had unlimited bullets.
I was gonna say those are dream bullets, so maybe they even
No
disappear.
casings even drop,
Yeah,
so
maybe
who's
they.
to
Yeah, maybe it just disappears after the spell's. I don't even know how that works, but whatever.
Not sure, and we'll never know.
Because Willow's not really dead, and she became a ghost.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Super magic. But I like that.
Yeah.
A couple lines I want to make sure I do remember to say. I thought that it was funny when Buffy's like, "A demon!" and it's a car.
A demon! A demon! A demon! It's not a demon, it's a car. What does it want?
Is this woman insane?
Yeah.
I like that shit. Just
I-
like she took a lot on faith, as Xander says, where she wasn't really questioning much of this new world. None of it should have made sense to her at all.
Yeah.
I thought it was weird that Angel was just in the house, and he've already been invited in, so that's not the problem. It's just that they're barricading, doing things. He just walks in the back door, "Hey guys, glad you're here.
guys,
What's
what's
crazy out there?"
Good. You guys are all right. It's total chaos out there.
And I was like, that's not something we see him do ever.
What a night.
He's not I just show up guy.
Yes.
But that was fun.
No, there's a lot of good moments with all that dialogue where, when Cordy shows up and Willow is trying to quickly give her the
Yes.
rundown. You're not really a cat. No one understands what's going on. And she's like, "What? What are you talking about?" Because
we're your friends, kinda.
We're your friends, I guess.
Okay, your name is Cordelia, you're not a cat, you're in high school, and we're your friends. Well, sort of.
Yeah, and Cordy's like, "What? No, when did you go insane, Willow?" And she's like, "Oh, you remember me? Good." And she's like, "What are you talking about?"
Big noise, scare monster, remember?
Xander shines. He has a run-in with Larry the bully. I believe this is the first appearance of this character.
Oh, sure,
And
sure.
he's a generic bully that we're gonna see again. Spoilers.
Yeah, he heard Buffy was fast.
I heard some guy say she was fast.
I hope you mean like the wind.
Yes.
If you know what I mean.
But Xander, grabs me his legs,
Yeah.
and what are you gonna do about it? He's like, something manly.
What are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna do what any man would do about it. Something damn manly.
And then just, Buffy steps in, which I think is the first time we really see her do violence in school.
Get gone.
Although she's apparently
The
always
worst
fighting.
person, yes.
But yeah, pulls her back, slams his head, gets a diet Dr. Pepper, I think.
I believe so.
And you're like, ooh, diet. Ooh. What are you doing? Saving $1.
Diet.
Do you know what you just did?
Saved $1.
It only cost 60 cents, Buffy. You didn't save $1. Don't lie to us. I read the sign.
You already put money in, so no one's saving anything.
Yes,
What's going
that's
on
also
here?
true. It did seem like it was either out or broken.
But he's super butthurt about this. He is like, Buffy,
kind of understandably
a black eye heals, but being labeled a coward is forever, or something like that.
Well, she promises next time I will let him pummel you. And he, like a kid guy on an Xbox on Christmas morning, he's like, really?
Okay, then I promise from now on I'll let you get pummeled.
Thank you.
His face looks so happy at the idea of like, let me get hit.
No, and like later, something happens, right? I forget how how this leads off, but he says, "Buffy, please, I am trying to repress over here."
I'm really sorry about this morning.
Do you mind, Buffy? Trying to repress.
She says I'm sorry about earlier.
Yeah,
which is nice of her. The difference between guys and girls, we don't need that apology.
It's an interesting little. I appreciate an apology.
You'll never get one.
It's an interesting little bit there. I don't know if anything's going. Like I never know with this show because I have fragmented memories of like season 3 or something like that. I never know. Like, will this bully reappear? Do people think Buffy is fast? And why? Does Xander
which person
have a
led that
running
to believe?
thing?
Like
What's
the one
happening?
guy from the She-Mantis episode or something? Like who's spreading lies about young Buffy here? We get one more interaction with Oz where he says his famous line.
Who's that girl?
Who's that girl?
Breaks my fucking heart. Yeah, he bumped into her as the ghost when they didn't know each other or whatever, right? And
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
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 then at the end, she's walking around all hot. She throws the ghost thing away. This is a story of triumph at the end, where she's like, no. And then, yes, Oz has to remind me that, oh no, someone else gets to have Willow, not me. It's horrible.
Oz drives like a weird European car, too. Did you catch that? Like
He's like from a different show. Like, he's from that 70s show, I think, right? There's some weird, he's in the band, he's doing other stuff.
Guys, we worked out our differences, and basically, he's a really great guy.
Oh God, yes, okay, too. Whoever Cordelia's pining after,
the
right?
lead singer.
We know the lead singer because we talked about him on stage and we saw him then.
Yes.
I feel like if we hadn't discussed it, I would be like, who the fuck is she talking about? He has not been on the show for like 3 episodes, I think now, right?
Yeah.
He's just gone, and she just has to keep mentioning his name. Like, what are we doing? This is insane to me. I'm like, you have to show this character.
And like, she's gone on dates since then, so it's like, are you really into this guy or not?
It's so weird.
And like, it's high school. You're not married. Live your life. You're not exclusive potentially. And he's like doing things, I guess, on tour without Oz. I don't know.
No, it feels like it feels like a running gag or a hanging Chad, like the writers fought. No, people are gonna be like, where the fuck did Devin go? We have to have her keep mentioning him. She wouldn't just forget about him. Oh, we have to keep writing dialogue in like every episode just to remind the audience that this actor who's never gonna be on the show again potentially. Don't tell me is still a factor here. Like, what is going on? This is insane. I don't like it. It bothers me.
So what do I tell him?
Nothing. Jeez, get with the program.
Last thing I want to mention, because it's funny, is when they split up and it's like, all right, you cat lady, come with me, and you go there, and the angel splits up with Buffy and it's like, what? But he has a musket. Do you have a musket?
Yeah.
You take the princess and secure the kitchen. Catwoman, you're with me.
But I don't want to go with you. I like the man with the musket.
Come on.
Do you have a musket?
I expected him to be like, I don't need one. But then
he says nothing.
It comes into play later where he shows his vampness and she screams.
Yeah.
So
get me a steak.
I expected her to go into the fridge and get a piece of beef.
I definitely remember the first time thinking that,
Yeah.
but like before she had a chance to do anything, going, but she's from the 1700s. How could she do that? If she does that, it's a big plot hole. And then she didn't.
You're like, she better not open that fridge. She doesn't know what a fridge is. Ugh, fuck you. Exactly.
Incan mummies using water fountains. Ah!
Last thing, Spike is a chump.
Yeah.
This is now like 3rd time where it seems like he needs Buffy to be like in a straitjacket upside down in the water tank with chains around her, or else he has no chance. The minute she was back after like having a rough night, I feel like he just gets handled. It is like over.
Hi, honey. I'm home.
That is the problem with a recurring bad guy, is that like, well, they can't die and they can't win, so they have to just keep like running away slowly, like, and there's never like a hot pursuit where like any other vampire, you'd run after him and stake him in the back, or like throw the perfect stake into a scarecrow. Something.
No, there was a part where, because like episodes ago, Joyce intercedes.
Yeah.
And then he goes, ugh, and like leaves.
Yeah.
By choice. And like the heroes kind of go, fine, okay. And like those feel more natural to me than these, where like an episode of like a much lesser show, he just gets beaten like unconscious basically, and then they go, well, I guess we are done our thing here. He doesn't go to vampire jail or something like that, right? It's
well,
just over.
again, like I think it's typically that your average Slayer wouldn't have a posse, and not that everyone in this room when they came to was willing to or even knew to fight Spike.
Yeah.
But you had Xander there, you had this, he had a toy gun, very menacing.
Yeah, but no one touches anyone except because all the demons turn back into kids and weird awkward people, right? So it's just.
But that's what I mean is that he lost.
Right?
He lost his army, so like he's like, not worth the risk. I can't. I've got Drew to provide for. I have to go.
Yeah, but I feel like he could have been killed easily there. Like he's. Right? Yeah.
That I agree.
Good.
Yes,
Making
he
sure,
could have been killed easily. That's why he ran.
Yes.
The flip side of why they didn't pursue, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, they have to take these kids back to their parents, and they're just. I could believe that more than I can believe that like Spike is literally like cannot even come close to being a match to Buffy. The way he like slumped over and like slid down the thing, like she just like destroyed him.
That's just what was written on the script, so he had to do it.
Yeah, and he had like every advantage in all these situations. I'm just like, damn, it sucks. Yeah.
We did see, I want to mention before I forget, Drew had a vision that like, and we kind of see on thing, like you're like, oh, is that how that works? She knew that this spell was going to happen. She knew people were going to change. Oh, she'll be powerless soon.
Don't worry. Everything's switching outside to inside. It makes her weak.
She comes in, do you like me on the inside? The parts you can't see. Oh, eyeballs to entrails, love.
Do you love my inside? The parts you can't see.
Eyeballs to entrails, my sweet.
Yes.
And all that stuff, and you're like, okay. And
even the parts you can't see is like something that's in my head as like a very early Drew memory.
Okay, it's very creepy. It's very evocative. I like it. But that segues into her saying like the inside, the outside is going to become the inside. TikTok soon, yes, something.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, that's like the costume you turn into the costume, right? It's thing. Blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah. No, this is the
prophecies.
Fun episode.
Yeah, no, any Halloween episode should be fun.
Sure.
Because Spike can just walk down the like middle of the line on the street laughing, and everyone's. I mean, by then everything was like crazy, but I have no idea why this is the case, but I love the idea of like Halloween is off limits. There's no real paranormal shit that happens on Halloween.
I think it's just like
Oh yeah.
It's too holiday, too commercial. We're
okay.
This bullshit.
I thought you were saying like that's just the writers being like, ugh, I can't think.
No, that's a thing.
No, I like
and
that.
I think I've seen that as a thing in other shows too. Like oh yeah, whatever. No, that's not the day.
I've never seen it before, but it's like that's the vibe I get too, where it's like, oh no, it's a big mess. You never know who's really a demon or who's just some fuck. It's like we can't deal with that. I'm staying in. I'm gonna catch up on my whatever. Like I'm gonna go pay my bills.
Also, like I said, we can't have the fun of scaring somebody if they're expecting to be scared.
Yeah.
We do this on the next day.
Like people,
this
like
is a November thing.
Like drunk teens must be like, well, who the F are you? Instead of like, oh shit, run, right? Yeah. So yeah, exactly. No, it's a cool concept to kind of whet my my appetite there a little bit. Like,
definitely.
Okay.
I like any of the weird themed episode type things. Yeah. And this is a good one. All right, guys. So that was everything about season 2, episode 6. Let us know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next week for season 2, episode 7.
Who died and made her the boss?
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.